Good evening and welcome to Vermillion Tanager Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher and we are here at Prentice Park in Vermillion. Beautiful evening for some baseball, and this is a beautiful field, so if you get a chance to make it out to some games this summer, definitely do so. Vermillion is taking on Lennox, so it's Post 1 versus Post 174. We'll be giving you starting lineups when we get those. We do have Vermillions, we do not have Lennoxes as of yet. But we will try to bring as many of these Vermillion baseball games, Post 1 baseball games, to you as we can this summer. It should be a fun time. We brought a lot of the high school baseball to you during the spring. And speaking of the spring, a lot of those sports are wrapping up. Golf will be wrapping up Monday and Tuesday. State track is wrapping up today and tomorrow. It was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So we'll take a look at how some of the area athletes fared yesterday and today and what we have going on tomorrow. So this is Vermillion Post 1 Baseball, Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. This is all part of the Carlson's Body Shop pregame show. I'm Michael Schumacher from Prentice Park. We'll be back with more of our Carlson's Body Shop pregame show right after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters. And just a reminder, those sportscasters also bring you Breakfast with the Coaches. And Breakfast with the Coaches will be tomorrow morning starting at 8 o'clock with the Yankton coaches and about 9 o'clock for the Vermillion coaches on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM, KVTK, Vermillion and Yankton. So we'll have all of that, and we'll have a bit of a wrap-up of the state track meet then as well. All right, we'll be right back after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters.
The Pizza Ranch Vermillion is your event headquarters. Enjoy the crisp salad bar, the country's best chicken, and fresh pizza. Want a custom pizza? Just ask. We are proud to offer the buffet your way. And the Fun Zone Arcade features 36 games, 2 golf simulators, and full bar. Perfect for pregame tailgates and parties. Have a business meeting, team, or office party? Reserve the Dakota Center. It holds up to 300 people. Order online at pizzaranch.com for delivery, or circle your wagons and make Pizza Ranch your tailgate place next to USG. The Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Vermillion is proud to support local athletics like USD and the Tanagers. The DQ fall flavors are in, and DQ has great food at great prices. Get a $7 meal deal. Choose from a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken basket with fries, a drink, and a sundae for only $7. Got an office team party or birthday party? If you want to celebrate, don't bake, buy a DQ cake. And DQ supports the Sanford Children's Network. So after the game, take your team for a thrill to the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill, 905 East Cherry Street, Vermillion, South Dakota.
Truckers, commercial fleet, car owners, when you need a DOT inspection, you need a battery, oil change, diagnostic, or specialized tire service for farm, auto, and heavy equipment, JFI will get your vehicle repaired and washed and back on the road. JFI proudly supports Vermillion Tanagers, the community of Vermillion, in business for nearly 100 years for a reason. JFI is the best, and that's no lie. JFI 1218 Compton Court, Vermillion.
Are you ready to start a career with an exciting team? Thermobond is looking to add to our team of experts. We offer competitive wages, a positive work environment, and on-the-job training. Thermobond is headquartered in Elk Point, South Dakota, and for over 30 years we've been providing lightweight and precast solutions for multiple industries nationwide. Check us out and see if you'd like to start a new career with us today.
Welcome to Runnings in Vermillion. Shop their great lineup of clothes for women, names like Ariat and Carhartt for men, boots and shoes and kids' clothing. Runnings has a large supply of animal food and accessories. Love the outdoors? See the selection of ammo, firearms, and fishing equipment. For everything you need, walk through the doors at Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store, Vermillion.
I'm Blaine Olson, owner of Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. I grew up here, graduated here, and now have a business here. I'm proud to serve the community that has helped me live this dream. I have top-notch equipment, the latest in training, along with a work ethic and the desire to serve you. Should you need repairs in the future, please remember Blaine's Body Shop across from Polaris on the Highway 50 bypass in Vermillion.
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Now online at blainsbodyshop.com.
Welcome back to Vermillion Tanager Baseball, brought to you by, or Vermillion Post 1 Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher from Prentice Park, where Vermillion Post 1 is getting ready to take on Vermillion Post 174. So as I mentioned, Vermillion Golf will be at State this Monday and Tuesday. We'll discuss that a little bit. We had a chance to talk with Coach Hogan earlier today. That will be on Breakfast with the Coaches tomorrow. Also, the state track meet is going on right now. That was started yesterday, runs today through tomorrow. So let's take a look at some of the results from yesterday and today and some of the events of note. One thing of note, the O'Neill family out of Bennett County were kind of the story of the day yesterday. Payson O'Neill set the meet record. Just an 8th grader, set the meet record in the 100-meter hurdles with running it in 14 and a half seconds to qualify for the finals. I believe will be tomorrow. She beat Riley Peters in by over a second. Riley Peters was the second fastest time. She was in Heat 3. Emery Schubeck from Centerville ran a 15.67 to have the 4th fastest time yesterday in the 100-meter hurdles. Other area athletes, Irene Wakanda, Marin Lingstad, just outside making it to the finals. She ran a 16.77. Just a freshman for Marin Lingstad, so she'll be heard from again in the future. And Eliza Westrom, a sophomore, Gayville Vaughn, had the 14th fastest time, running a 17.07. In Class A, the 100-meter hurdles, Elk Point Jefferson, Lauren McDermott, had a chance to talk with her on At the Mic. She ran a 15.54 to have the 4th fastest time overall. Other runners of note, and we're going to take a quick pic of Lennox's thing here, and I cannot talk and take a picture at the same time, so you will have to just bear with me as I yammer through it. Thank you very much. And so we do have the starting lineups for both teams, so we'll get that set up here during our next commercial break. But in the girls' 100-meter hurdles, Ashlyn Carlo Blunt from Makpio Luta ran a 15.72 for the 6th fastest time yesterday. In AA, girls 100 meters, Olivia Dimmer ran the 8th fastest time in the state this year in AA. She ran the 6th fastest time in AA yesterday. And also from the area, that would be all of the area athletes in that. In the boys' 110-meter hurdles in Class B, Jacob Graves from Viborg Hurley, 0.06 of a second behind Spencer Melius for the fastest time. Miles Eide from Centerville ran a 15.69, so just 0.03 of a second behind Jacob. So he had the 3rd fastest time in the meet yesterday during the preliminaries. And then Viborg Hurley's Lincoln Van Orsdell ran the 12th fastest time at 17.24. In Class A, boys 110-meter hurdles, looking for area athletes from the area, Parker's Michael Even ran a 16.41. And in the boys 110-meter in AA, Yankton had 2 of the faster boys. Cale Hazelhorst ran a 15.01 for the fastest time. Miles Drotzman ran a 15.27 for the 5th fastest time yesterday in the 110-meter hurdles. So we'll be keeping an eye on those young men as they are representing the Bucks. And William Rounds was still in the top 20, had the 19th fastest time at 16.41. All underclassmen. William Rounds is a junior, Cale Hazelhorst is a junior, and Miles Drotzman just a sophomore. In the girls' 4x800-meter relay in Class B, Centerville had the 6th fastest time. In the girls' 4x800-meter relay in Class A, Vermillion finished 10th. That was Radigan, Peterson, Anderson, and Anderson. And in the girls' 4x8 in AA, Yankton finished 11th with Jackson, Yeomans, Johannesson, and Johannesson. All right, in the boys' 4x800-meter relay, Freeman finished 2nd. That was with Miller, McCune, Sorensen, and Mangel. Freeman Academy Marion finished in 8th with Mesfin, Escobar, Butler, and McConnell. In Class A, the 4x800-meter relay, Vermillion finished in 8th. That was Chasing Hawk, Orr, Beverly, and Roovers on that team, finishing 8th, so on the medal stand. And in the 4x800 meter relay in AA, Yankton finished 13th with Olson, Feimer, Eidzenes, and Brendan. And another story of the week, of the day, girls 100 meters. Reagan O'Neill ran an 11.73. That was a meet record for Class B. She also holds the meet record for Class A. She ran an 11.74 last year. She led Chloe Raw by a quarter of a second, 0.26 seconds to be exact. Gayville Vollins Taylor Hoxing ran the 8th fastest 100 meters in Class B yesterday, so she'll be on to the finals. And in Class A prelims, you had Bergen Musser of Lennox with the 3rd fastest time, just an 8th grader, so she's a name to keep in mind. And then in AA, Rosalind Adamson, who I also had at the mic earlier last week, ran a 12.6. She was the 7th fastest time in the 100. The only non-sophomore or older to be in the top 10. So quite the accomplishment for Rosalind Adamson, a name to keep track of as well. So, and in the boys 100 meters, Rush O'Neill, the brother of Reagan and Payson, finished with the 3rd fastest 100 meter time at 11.31. He's just a sophomore. Keaton Preheim of Freeman Academy Marion ran an 11.39 for the 5th fastest time in the prelims. In boys A in the 100 meters, you had Vermillion's Ian Job running the 21st fastest time at 11.61. And in Class AA, Mikey Roach, grandson of Professor Roach from USD. He ran the 4th fastest time in the 100 meter dash, 3rd fastest time at a 10.97. So he'll be on to the finals in that as well. All right, and then in girls pole vault in Class B, Irene Wakanda's Emily Oyen finished in 12th. And boys long jump in Class B, Rush O'Neill of Bennett County finished in 1st at 23 feet 2.5 inches. Almost a foot and a half, over a foot and a half ahead of Isaiah Meyer of Avon, last year's champion at 21 feet 6.5 inches. Centerville's Aiden Bobzine finished in 6th at 20 feet 9.5 inches. And Miles Eide finished just off the podium at 20 feet 2 3/4. In boys Class A high jump, you had Tate Gertis and Tegan Musser from Lennox. Leighton Smith finishing on 1st. Tate Gertis and Tegan Musser finishing tied for 6th in that. And boys shot put Class A, Paul Holkman of Sioux Falls Christian set the new meet record at 68 feet 4.5 inches. It's the new number 1 in South Dakota Class A. It's also the 3rd farthest distance in the nation in high school this year. In the nation. He was 6 feet 5 3/4 inches further than Marcus Firth, who has the 52nd distance in the nation. So nice job there by those two young men from Sioux Falls Christian. Thomas Hemmingstad of Elk Point Jefferson finished in 5th. Joseph Sharp of Beersford finished in 8th. Scotland Meadows Hunter Yostin finished in 13th. Raleigh French of Vermillion in 20th, and Brooks Schoenfish of Scotland Meadow in 21st. In AA Javelin, really nobody from the area in that. In girls long jumping Class B, Reagan O'Neill won that with 19 feet 2 1/4 inches. That's a new meet record. The girls and Centerville's Emma Marshall finished in 3rd. Freeman's Mackenzie Scharberg finished in 6th. Alcester Hudson's Emily Winquist just on the outside looking in 9th. In girls javelin yesterday, in Class A, Scotland Meadows' Kylie Guthmiller finished in 6th. Elk Point Jefferson had Bentley Kohlbaum in 4th and Molly Harkin in 5th. Scotland Meadows' Trinity Beats finished in 10th, and Edison Martz of Lennox finished in 9th. And I believe we are going to be getting ready here shortly, so I'll just keep going here. Actually, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. This is the Carlson's Body Shop pregame show, and we'll be back right after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters.
Get the finest wood in the neighborhood. Down at the lumberyard. Down at the lumberyard.
But it's not just wood at the lumberyard. With a wide variety of quality building materials, the folks at the lumberyard can help you with all of your project needs. Whether it be paint, siding, cabinets, windows, or of course lumber, the lumberyard is ready to help. The best wood in the neighborhood at the lumberyard, 1000 West Cherry Street in Vermillion. Midwest Ready Mix and Clark's Rentals are your locally owned and operated ready mix and rental companies available in both Yankton and Vermillion. The Oshkosh front discharge mixers allow for easy placement of concrete, and they're nearly unstoppable. More of a do-it-yourself fan? You can also get all your hand tools, mini excavators, skid steers, aerial lift equipment, and more for any job you need to get done. Choose Midwest Ready Mix and Clark's Rentals as your concrete and rental equipment headquarters of Yankton and Vermillion.
This is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
If you want somebody to come into your home and fix everything right the first time, look professional, act professional, treat you with respect, you gotta call Kaylin's. When they come in, I feel that they want to be there. I feel that they want to help me.
You know, they put on the little booties over their shoes. They had canvas from the garage door all the way down to walk on. They left the furnace room in the basement probably cleaner than it was when they came in.
They just do customer service very well. I would recommend Kaylin's to anyone.
Fuller Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
Center, number 5, Mikey Rowe. In right, number 11, Matty Rowe. Around the infield at third base, number 7, Jack Moskowitz. Shortstop, number 4, Hayden Christofferson. Second base, number 2, Teddy Nessman. And first base, number 8, Corbin Heckens. Catching for Vermillion, number 1, Connor Peterson. And on the mound for post 1, number 23, Vince City.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher, and this is live from Prentice. This is part of our Carlson's Body Shop pregame show as we're getting ready to start. The starting lineup for Lennox. coached by Kurt Latman and Darren Ike, will be as follows. Number 25, batting first, second baseman Jackson Anaker. Batting second in right field, number 4, Dane Moeller. Batting third, playing third, number 27, Talon Ike. Batting cleanup and pitching, number 21, Cole Spieler. Batting fifth and catching, number 35, Mason Reichel. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 23, Gabe Vierink. Batting seventh and playing left field, Griffin Boomgarden. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 19, Emery Leffers. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, number 20, Cullen Wright. So here comes Jackson Anaker to face Ryan Vitt. First pitch in for a strike. Pitch is fouled off quickly, 0-2. Pitch is fouled off, count remains 0-2. So again, Ryan Vitt on the mound. That pitch is laced into left field for a single. So the first hit of the game is the leadoff batter. So now a runner at first, nobody out. That brings up right fielder number 4, Dane Moeller. First pitch to Moeller is a ball. 1-0. Defensively for Vermillion, again, Ryan Vitt is pitching. Catching is Connor Peterson. That's hit right back to Vitt. Over to Christofferson at short for one, and that is all they'll get. So on a fielder's choice, Dane Moeller is aboard with now one down. So third baseman Talon Ike comes up. On deck is pitcher Cole Spieler. Here's a steal attempt, and he is going to be out. Nice strike by Connor Peterson. Takes down the runner at second, and so now there's two down. And that pitch is a strike, 0-1. It's a nice job by Connor Peterson. That pitch a little low, lot low and outside, 1-1. That's in for a strike. One ball, two strikes, two down, nobody on here in the top of the first. Fouled straight back. 1-2. Again, defensively for Vermillion, Connor Peterson catching. Corbin Heckens at first. Nesmith at second. Christofferson at short. Moskowitz at third. That pitch is low and outside. 2-2. Grant Rohrig in left. Mikey Robe in center. And Matt Robe in right. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. That one is laced right over to Jack Moskowitz. So technically 3 up, 3 down, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base at the end of half an inning. It's Lennox nothing with Vermillion's half of the first coming up. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank, tied at 0-0 on the Masaba scoreboard.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple, helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Candice Couture is your complete women's lingerie shop. Bras, underwear, PJs, loungewear, swimwear, sports bras, activewear, and much, much more. Small to 3 extra large and over 200 different sizes of bras. AA to O cup bands 28 to 56 in store. Candice Couture, 17 West Main Street.
Slumberland Furniture in Yankton, the place to shop for your next new mattress. Find brands like Stearns & Foster, Nectar, and the hottest selling mattress, Purple, measured for your comfort and a dream-laden night's sleep. There's the new Adapt by Tempur-Pedic as well. Slumberland Furniture has Flex Steel furniture too, comfy and classy. That's Slumberland Furniture, 2401 Broadway, Yankton. Todd's Electric, your full-service electrical contracting company. Todd's Electric services residential, commercial, agricultural, and industrial customers. From the simplest service call to the most complex design build project, Todd's Electric has the expertise to do it right. Call Todd's Electric for all your electrical needs. Todd's Electric, helping you control all things electric. Except for lightning. Todd's Electric. Go Tanagers.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher. As we enter the bottom half of the first inning, Vermillion and Lennox are tied at 0 on the Masaba scoreboard. Batting this inning for Vermillion will be Mikey Robe, Hayden Christopherson, and Connor Peterson. They'll be facing Cole Spieler. Defensively for Lennox, catching is Reichel. At first is Leffers. Anneker at second, right at short, Ike at third, Boomgarden in left, Virk in center, and Moeller in right. So Mikey Robe coming up. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Inside, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Spieler winds and delivers. The left-hander brings it into Robe, and that is on the outside corner. 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. First strikeout of the game. 1 up, 1 down. Brings up shortstop Hayden Christopherson. On deck is catcher Connor Peterson. So Lennox in their white uniforms with those navy blue pinstripes and orange sleeves. Vermillion in white pants with navy blue jerseys with white letters and red numbers. Red letters and white numbers with red trim. All right, 1-0 to Christopherson. Second pitch inside, and that actually hit him. So Christopherson will take his base, and so Vermillion has their first base runner. Brings up catcher Connor Peterson. Peterson with a nice defensive play in the top half of the first, throwing out an attempted steal at second. He'll be playing at Mount Marty in the fall and spring next year. On deck is third baseman Jack Moskowitz. So Spieler working from the set for the first time. Swing and a miss. Strike one. 0-1. Spieler comes set in the stretch. Looks in. Looks over. Looks. And they get Christopherson off of first. He's going to be in a pickle. He's in a rundown. Oh, it's going to be close, but he is going to be out at first. Good move there by Spieler to get the second out of the inning. So in both halves of the inning, runner on first is picked off. One by a throw on an attempted steal by Peterson. This time on a pickoff move by Spieler. That pitch is in for a strike, 0-2. That's in for a called strike 3. So just like the top of the first, no runs. Now they had no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 1, on the Masaba scoreboard, it's Vermillion 0. Lennox 0. We'll be back with the second inning after this timeout, brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion. This is Tanager Softball. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Wanting a specialist without leaving town? We've got you covered. Our clinic offers specialists for the health and wellness of your family, from pediatricians to OBGYNs, plus primary care. You can find it all at Vermillion Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
If you're looking for the perfect fit, Vermillion Vision Care Associates fits like the right pair of glasses. Vision Care Associates has its roots in family eye care, and the doctors are well known for being primary eye care providers. With the ability to treat and diagnose a variety of settings, Vermillion Vision Care Associates is the right fit for you. Plus, they can fit you into a new pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contacts that feel just right. With continuing education, see the best doctors at Vermillion Vision Care Associates.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher, and we enter into the second inning with it tied at 0 on the Masaba scoreboard. Again, this is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. Ryan Vitt will enter his second inning of work here, and he'll be facing off with pitcher Cole Spieler, Mason Reichel, the catcher, and center fielder Gabe Vierink. So again, I apologize if I keep saying softball. It's been on my mind. They'll be heading to state for the first time in school history. This is the third season of state-sanctioned softball. And so count is 1-0 to Spieler. Quickly 2-0. That does catch the outside corner, 2-1. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 2-2. Ball is lifted into left field, but that will be foul. Count will remain 2-2. That's hit to Christopherson at short, and he takes a odd hop on him, but he does get the glove on it. We'll see if the official scorer calls that a hit. They do. So that is a single for Cole Spieler. Second hit of the game for Lennox. So with a runner on first, that brings up catcher Mason Reichel. That's fouled off. 0-1. On deck is center fielder Gabe Veering. That is in the strike zone, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Vitt. Ooh, and that hits him. That'll put runners at first and second. That never curved back, kept rising and higher on the inside. So Reichel is now aboard after being hit by a pitch. So Peterson heads out to talk to Ryan Vitt as center fielder Gabe Veering comes up.
Come on, Gabe, we're base hit. Don't leave him out there.
And running for the catcher will be number 7, Dane Winterbore. So here's the first pitch to Verink. He squares up to bunt. He pulls back, but they still say he offered. It was a strike, 0-1. That's inside for another strike. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So that is Vitt's first strikeout, the first out of the inning. That brings up Griffin Boomgard now with 1 down and 2 on. Ball's hit over to third, fielded there. And Moskowitz will take out the lead runner, so now with 2 down, Boomgarden is on via fielder's choice. With Winterbore now at second, Boomgarden at first, brings up first baseman Emery Leffers. That pitch is just out of the zone, 1-1. Two and 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 2 on here in the top half of the second. No score. Vermillion pitcher Ryan Vitt working from the stretch. That's in for a strike. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. We are in the number 2 inning. As Emery Leffers, the left-handed batter, gets back in the box. Ball's chopped on the third baseline. Fielded there by Moskowitz, and he steps on third for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base at the end of 1.5. It is Vermillion 0. Lennox 0. We'll be back with the bottom half of the second. That is on the Masaba scoreboard. This is Tanager Baseball, Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home for your family, you want to sell your existing home, or you're a student looking to rent an apartment, Dakota Realty and Property Management can fit your needs. Being locally owned and with over 150 years of combined experience, they are the experts at helping you find your new home. Go to Dakota Realty and Property Management because they like what they do. Dakota Realty is a proud supporter of Vermillion Athletics. Dakota Realty and Property Management, located at 125 East Cherry Street, Vermillion.
Remember the Perks card from Pump and Pack? Well, guess what? There's an addition, not just a card, it's an app. The Pump and Perks app and the Pump and Perks card from Pump and Pack, Vermillion. Just go to their Facebook page, Pump and Pack, and scan the QR code and you're in. Or go to the store, Pump and Pack, and get the card. Then download the app. Each one does the same thing. Like give you 5 cents off per gallon every day, except for Sunday, it's doubled with the Perks card from Pump and Pack, Vermillion.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball. The first pitch to Moskowitz in for a strike, 0-1. This inning, it'll be Moskowitz, Vitt, and Heckens. This is Vermillion Baseball brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. Here's this next pitch from Spieler. That is low. Or did they say they called it a strike or that he swung? 0-2. Ball 1, 1-2. Ball's chopped down the third baseline. Foul. Count remains 1-2. So again, a beautiful night here at Prentice Park. Well-maintained facility. 300 down the left field line, 336 down the right, 367 to deep center, and 354 to left and right center field. That is in for a called strike 3. So that is 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. Brings up pitcher Ryan Vitt on deck, first baseman Corbin Heckens. The ball is fouled off, 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2, 0-2. Ooh, that is a called strike 3 for the second caught looking of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down. Brings up first baseman Corbin Heckens. First pitch to Heckens is a ball, 1-0. In for strike, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Spieler, and that is outside, 2-1. So again, Zach Spear and I will be in Aberdeen for Class A and B softball on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'll be covering the Tanagers and EPJ, and Zach will be primarily covering Class B, and then I will be helping out with Class B as we have 4 teams that we are covering. Alcester Hudson, Avon, Bonholm, and Gayville Vollen. That is inside, and that hits Heckens. So Vermillion with their second base runner now. So Teddy Nesmith, the second baseman, comes up with a runner on first in Corbin Heckens. Again, Vermillion Tanager softball will be here on Vermillion Tanagers on YouTube. All of the other games will be on our new channel, 5-Star Streaming. That'll be where our South Central League Baseball is, and those rural communities that aren't either Yankton or Vermillion. That curves in for strike one. Buckled the knees of Nesmith there. So 0-1. On deck is left fielder Grant Rohrig. That ball is laced over to second, fielded cleanly, tossed over to short, and Anaker to right for the putout. It's a 4-6 putout in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. At the end of 2, it's Vermillion nothing, Lennox nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. We'll be back with the third inning after these messages, and this time out brought to you by Murph's Appliance. Again, Vermillion Baseball, sponsored by First Dakota National Bank.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer. Murph's Appliance, downtown Vermillion.
In a situation like this, the first thing you do, of course, is make sure everybody's okay. And then you're thinking, you better call your insurance person. No, just call Justin. At Vermillion Auto Works, you see Justin handles all the insurance claims and gives free quotes. Not everybody does the free quote thing anymore, you know. So call Justin at Vermillion Auto Works. He'll take care of the situation. Carrying WeatherTech, Rough Country, and Tuxedo. Vermillion Auto Works.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. First pitch to Cullen Wright is in for a strike. 0-1. Cullen Wright will be followed by the top of the order in Jackson Anaker and Dane Moeller. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 0-2. So we're tied at nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That is high, 1-2. That ball is in the dirt. Nice save there by Connor Peterson. 2-2. That ball chopped past the pitcher's mound over to second base, up and over to first, and they get him by about a step. Nesmith over to Heckens for a nice 4-3 putout for the first out of the inning. That brings up Jackson Anaker. On deck, right fielder Dane Moeller. First pitch to Anaker is a ball, 1-0. Anaker singled his first time up. Inside, 2-0. So here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 2-1. So Vitt pitching pretty consistently. He's given up 2 hits and a hit by a pitch. That pitch is lifted straight up, coming right down, and lands right on top of the bandstand here. 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on here in the top half of the third inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Vitt. That is lifted high. Will it go out of play? Oh. Heckens just unable to quite track it down. So count remains 2-2. So Aniker lives to bat again. First pitch, that pitch in for a called strike 3 for the second out of the inning. That is Vitt's second strikeout. That brings up right fielder Dane Moeller. Moeller reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. On deck, Talon Ike, the third baseman. So Vitt winds and delivers. That is high, ball 1, 1-0. Ball is fouled off right off the fists, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch with 2 out, and that hits him. Third consecutive inning with a base runner on. That's one by a hit by a pitch. The second hit by a pitch today. Brings up Talon Ike. The third baseman on deck, pitcher Cole Spieler. Ball's chopped over to just under the second baseman's glove into right field. And they're going to make a play at third. And runners will now be at second and third on the single by Ike, who advances to second on the throw. And that brings up Cole Spieler. So with 2 runners in scoring position, Spieler, the pitcher, would love to help himself out here. He singled to lead off the second. Spieler is a left-handed pitcher and a left-handed batter. That pitch is lifted into left field, but that will be foul. 0-1. Ball is chopped down the first base line. That will be foul. 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on here in the top half of the third inning. That ball's grounded over to second. Neesmith picks it up over to first for the third out of the inning by about half a step. So in the inning, no runs, 1 hit. 1 error, 2 left on base. At the end of 2.5, it's Vermillion nothing, Lennox nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. We'll be back with the bottom half of the third after these messages. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Interior technicians.
Jerry, baby, I got a great idea for your next commercial. You're in a jungle with a dinosaur, looking for an outlet for your vacuum.
A dinosaur? No, I said Intech has over 30 years of commercial cleaning. You know, like office buildings, ensuring happy visitors and a healthy workforce.
Commercial buildings? I think I can work with that, Jerry. I'm gonna make you a star.
Oh my goodness. When you need it clean, call the Intech team.
Hey kids, it's
It's never too early to start planning for your future. Did you know Masaba provides scholarships and tuition assistance? They are committed to your success, offering engineering, drafting, and welding opportunities, plus scholarships, job shadowing, and mentorship programs. Learn more at masabainc.com/career. When I grow up, I want to work at Masaba.
Masaba Manufacturing. Unlock your future and rock with us.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. That timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion. Well, batting it coming up in the bottom of the third for Vermillion will be Grant Rohrig, Matt Robe, and then the top of the order, and Mikey Robe.
Left fielder number 10, Grant Rohrig.
So Grant Rohrig steps in, awaits that first pitch from Spieler. The left-hander winds and delivers. Oh, and offers that a bunt. 0-1. Vermillion still looking for their first hit. Swing and a miss. Strike two. 0-2. So here's the 0-2 pitch from Spieler, and that is high. Ball one. 1-2. Inside, evens the count. 2-2. And that is a little outside. Full count. 3-2. Grant Rohrig. Vermillion is looking for their first hit of the game here in inning number 3. That curves in for a called strike 3. That is the 4th time a Vermillion batter has been caught looking. So that brings up right fielder Matt Robe. That's called strike 1. 0-1. On deck is Mikey Robe. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2. That's in for a called strike 3. So that is the second out of the inning. Second strikeout of the inning. 6th strikeout overall for Cole Spieler. That brings up Mikey Robe. Robe struck out swinging his first time up. First pitch is fouled off. 0-1. That's in for called strike 2. 0-2. On deck, Hayden Christofferson. Just a reminder, Monday and Tuesday will be state golf. That ball is lifted down the right field line. And that is foul. Count remains 0-2. And Vermillion does have 5 golfers that will be in attendance. Brindley Badke, Georgia Johnson, Taylor Roovers, Caitlin Tracy, and Ronnie Wilharm. So we're wishing them the best of luck. Hopefully they can take out Sioux Falls Christian. And that is ball 1, 1 and 2. As spring seasons wrap up for high school. Ball's chopped foul. Count remains 1 and 2. Fouled off. Count remains 1 and 2. And that's fouled off. Count remains 1 and 2. Ball 2, 2 and 2. Ball 3. So full count now on Mikey Robe. Again, on deck, Hayden Christopherson, Vermillion looking for their first hit of the game. And that is ball 4. So Mikey Robe is aboard. See if Vermillion tries to make something happen here. Robe has some pretty good speed over there.
Shortstop, number 4, Hayden Christopherson.
So that brings up Hayden Christopherson. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. On deck is catcher Connor Peterson. Ball's chopped up the middle. Fielded at short. Over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. At the end of 3, it's Vermillion 0, Lennox 0. We'll be back with the 4th inning after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
At Voyage Federal Credit Union, we believe in giving back to the community that supports us. That's why our employees make it a priority to volunteer their time and talents to make a difference. Whether it's improving local causes, fighting hunger, or supporting our local zoo, our team is dedicated to making a positive impact in the lives of those around us. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a part of the community, working together to make it a better place for everyone. Your community, your credit union. Voyage Federal Credit Union.
Jordan Kirkman here from downtown Vermillion's American Family Insurance Office. We love being part of the community and want to help with your insurance needs. So stop in today and see me, Jordan Kirkman, sales specialist with Buchelman & Associates, located at 112 West Main Street, or call 605-624-2025. And if you're in Yankton, be sure to stop by our new office there as well. Go Tanagers and go Yotes.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. That timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion. Batting this inning, Mason Reichel, Gabe Vierink, and Griffin Boomgarden all set to face Ryan Vitt, entering his fourth inning of work. Yet to give up a run, but he's given up 3 hits and 2 hit by pitches. That first pitch out of the zone, 1-0. Ball 2, 2-0. That's it. No. Okay. Yeah, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. That's low. Ball 3, 3-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, full count. So Vitt looks in, winds, and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the first out of the inning. That is Vitt's third strikeout of the game. Brings up Gabe Vierink, the center fielder. He struck out swinging in the second. On deck, Griffin Boomgarden. That pitch is out of the zone, 1-0. Ball 2, 2-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 2-1.
Good eye. Come to you now. Your head, bud. Good eye, bud. Good eye, Gabe.
So that is ball 4. So Gabe Vierink at first with a base on balls. Brings up left fielder Griffin Boomgarden. On deck, first baseman Emery Leffers. Boomgarden reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. Ball 1, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Here in the top half of the fourth inning. Get a good crowd rimming the field here at Prentice Park. That pitch chopped on the first baseline. Fielded there for the force out. So Heckens fields it as the runner then advances to second. I suppose you could call that a sacrifice. So Vierink now on second in scoring position for first baseman Emery Leffers. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. On deck is shortstop Cullen Wright. That pitch is in the zone, 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Vitt comes set in the stretch. Virenk gets a lead off a second. That is outside. Ball 3. 3-1. Inside for ball 4. So now runners again at first and second with 2 down. Brings up shortstop Cullen Wright, who grounded out to second, a 4-3 putout to begin the third inning. First pitch high, 1-0. Strike 1, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, 2 on here in the top half of the fourth. Pitch is lifted high into shallow right field. Nope. Heckens goes back and makes the catch at first, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. At the end of 3.5, it's Vermillion nothing, Lennox nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. We'll be back with more Vermillion baseball brought to you by First Dakota National Bank after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
For over 40 years, your local heating and cooling contractor has been Larry's Heating and Cooling. How did they stay in business that long? The customers know they stand behind their work. They offer top quality name brand equipment, and no one matches Larry's pricing when compared to the other local Lennox dealers based in Iowa. Larry's is $2,000 less for the same equipment. Not a Larry's customer? When you're ready to upgrade, trust Larry's. Honest prices, no gimmicks, and reliable service. Larry's Heating and Cooling, Yankton and Vermillion.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. I'm Michael Schumacher from Prentice Park. As we enter the bottom half of the 4th inning, Vermillion and Lennox tied at 0 on the Mesaba scoreboard. First pitch to Connor Peterson coming up. So Peterson steps back in the box here. Spieler winds and delivers. That is low. For ball 3, 3-0. On deck, Jack Moskowitz and Ryan Vitt. That one's in for a strike. 3-1. Ooh, strike 2, 3-2. So it's a full count here leading off the 4th inning. Vermillion still looking for their first hit. That one's laced into left field. That will be foul. Count remains 3-2. Again, Connor will be playing at Mount Marty next season, playing some fall ball and then playing with them in the spring. They were the runners-up in the G-Pack. I had an interview with Class A Baseball Player of the Year in South Dakota High School, Sam Goki. His brother Joe plays for Mount Marty. Here's the full count payoff pitch from Spieler to Connor Peterson. Spieler, the lefty, winds, delivers, and that is, called strike 3. All right, so 1 up, 1 down here in the 4th inning. That is the 7th strikeout of the game for Cole Spieler. That brings up Jack Moskowitz, who is a strikeout victim in the 2nd. On deck is pitcher Ryan Vitt. That's laced over to short, fielded cleanly over there by Wright, over to first for the 2nd out of the inning. So 6-3 put out. Brings up pitcher Ryan Vitt. On deck, first baseman Corbin Heckens.
Pitcher number 23, Ryan Vitt.
That's in for called strike 1, 0-1. That one is laced to second. Fielded cleanly, Vitt running down first baseline and just in time to get Vitt for a 4-3 putout for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 4 full innings, it's Lennox 4, Vermillion 4 on the Mesaba scoreboard. We'll be back with the 5th inning after these messages. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
At Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they believe a healthy smile opens doors. From routine checkups to cosmetic treatment, their friendly team is there to make your dental experience comfortable and enjoyable. With state-of-the-art technology and a compassionate approach, they ensure your visit is quick and pain-free.
I love my new smile. Thank you, Knutson Family Dentistry.
Knutson Family Dentistry will make your smile shine. Call and schedule your appointment today at Knutson Family Dentistry and discover the difference your smile can make.
The Pizza Ranch Vermillion is your event headquarters. Enjoy the crisp salad bar, the country's best chicken, and fresh pizza. Want a custom pizza? Just ask. We are proud to offer the buffet your way. And the Fun Zone Arcade features 36 games, 2 golf simulators, and full bar. Perfect for pregame tailgates and parties. Have a business meeting, team, or office party? Reserve the Dakota Center. It holds up to 300 people. Order online at pizzaranch.com for delivery, or circle your wagons and make Pizza Ranch your tailgate place next to USG. The Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Vermillion is proud to support local athletics like USD and the Tanagers. The DQ Fall flavors are in, and DQ has great food at great prices. Get a $7 meal deal. Choose from a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken basket with fries, a drink, and a sundae for only $7. Got an office team party or birthday party? If you want to celebrate, don't bake, buy a DQ cake. And DQ supports the Sanford Children's Network. So after the game, take your team for a thrill to the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill, 905 East Cherry Street, Vermillion, South Dakota.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. First pitch to Jackson Onaker to lead off. Inning number 5 is fouled off, 0-1. It'll be Onaker, Moeller, and Ike for Lennox this inning, facing Ryan Vitt. Pitch is laced down the third baseline, foul, 0-2. Ball is low and out of the zone, 1-2. That pitch is laced into left center field. That is between the fielders. Will that be a double for Onaker? No, he is held to a single. That is the 4th hit of the game for Lennox. That is the 2nd hit for Onaker. Again, brings up right fielder Dane Moeller. That pitch is fouled off. 0-1. That one's fouled off. 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That is another strikeout for Vitt. That is number 4. Brings up third baseman Talon Ike. Ike flew out to third on a liner in the first and singled in the third. 1 for 2. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Vitt comes set. That is low and outside. Quick throw over to first, though. Ooh! Honecker got back, but a little bit closer than I think they would have liked. 2-0 is the count. On deck is Cole Spieler, and there's a balk by Vitt. So, on the steal attempt, thought he was going to be able to try to pick him off, but runner advances 2 seconds, so 1 down, now a runner in scoring position. 2-0 count to Talon Ike. Pitcher Cole Spieler on deck. High and inside, 3-0. Again, our first South Central League baseball action will be this Sunday. Freeman at Irene in a doubleheader starting at 4 o'clock. I will have Vermillion baseball at 2. And so that'll be getting over about the time that starts. So Zach Spear will have the initial call, and then I'll join him and finish things up from Irene. If you have a chance to ever make it to a game in Irene, definitely do. Dick's Butcher Shop provides the brats. They have Chislik there. 3-1 pitch, laced just past the third baseman into left field, and Honecker took a big turnaround third, but he decided to stay. So another hit for Lennox. 5th hit of the game puts runners at first and third. That is Ike's second hit of the game as well. So runners at first and third for pitcher Cole Spieler. He'd love to help himself out here. And Vermillion's going to take a trip to the mound, so we'll take a timeout. Brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion.
Truckers, commercial fleet, car owners, when you need a DOT inspection, you need a battery, oil change, diagnostic, or specialized tire service for farm, auto, and heavy equipment, JFI will get your vehicle repaired and washed and back on the road. JFI proudly supports Vermillion Tanagers, the community of Vermillion, in business for nearly 100 years for a reason. JFI is the best, and that's no lie. JFI 1218 Compton Court, Vermillion.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball. After a quick trip to the mound, it'll be Ryan Vitt versus Cole Spieler. Runners at first and third with 1 down. Boy, Vermillion would love a double play here. First pitch is low. 1-0. So Ike makes it down to second, essentially eliminating the double play. Spieler singled into second and grounded out to second in the third, fourth, third. Yeah. That one's fouled off, 1-1. If you're interested, WNBA basketball pregame starts at 8:45, so in 15 minutes, 9 o'clock tip-off between the Lynx and the Mercury. Now, Nafisa Collier is out for the Mercury with a knee injury. So the starting 5 for the Lynx will be Courtney Williams, Jessica Shepard. That pitch is low, 3-1. Alana Smith, Bridget Carlton, and Kayla McBride. So, yes, Player of the Week and runner-up in the MVP last year, Nafisa Collier, is out for tonight's game. Count is 3-1 to Cole Spieler. First base is open. And that is a called strike. Full count now. 3-2. Three balls, two strikes, one out, two on. Vitt comes set, comes home, and that is low. That is ball four. Loads the bases. So bases are loaded for Mason Reichel, the catcher. Reichel gets some instruction from coach. So Vermillion's been getting a little bit, or Lennox has been getting a little contact, some good contact off Vitt. We'll see if they try something here. That is low, 1-0. Vitt just having a little trouble with the zone this inning. On deck is Gabe Vierink, the center fielder. Oh, hits him, and that will score a run. So that makes the score 1-0. Bases stay loaded as Reichel is now aboard after being hit by a pitch. Spieler moves to second, Ike to third, and Onaker comes home.
Come on, Gabe, we're base hit here. Go, Gabe.
First pitch to Vierink is a strike, 0-1. Pitch is lifted high, foul, but that is down the third base line. And caught there by Moskowitz for the second out of the inning. So now two down. Brings up Griffin Boomgarden, the left fielder. On deck, first baseman Emery Leffers. Boy, Vermillion trying to get out of this with just one run coming across. Here's the first pitch to Boomgarden. That's in for a strike, 0-1. That's in for a strike, 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. So they load the bases, get one run across, but Vitt is able to get a pop-up from Vierink and a strikeout of Boomgarden. So in the inning, one run, two hits, no errors, three runners left on base. At the end of 4.5, it's now Lennox 1, Vermillion nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. We'll be back with the bottom half of the fifth inning after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Are you ready to start a career with an exciting team? Thermobond is looking to add to our team of experts. We offer competitive wages, a positive work environment, and on-the-job training. Thermobond is headquartered in Elk Point, South Dakota, and for over 30 years we've been providing lightweight and precast solutions for multiple industries nationwide. Check us out and see if you'd like to start a new career with us today.
Welcome to Runnings in Vermillion. Shop their great lineup of clothes for women. Names like Ariat and Carhartt for men. Boots and shoes and kids clothing. Runnings has a large supply of animal food and accessories. Love the outdoors? See the selection of ammo, firearms, and fishing equipment. For everything you need, walk through the doors at Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store, Vermillion.
I'm Blaine Olson, owner of Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. I grew up here, graduated here, and now have a business here. I'm proud to serve the community that has helped me live this dream. I have top-notch equipment, the latest in training, along with the work ethic and the desire to serve you. Should you need repairs in the future, please remember Blaine's Body Shop across from Polaris on the Highway 50 bypass in Vermillion.
Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Now online at blainesbodyshop.com.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank as we enter the bottom half of the fifth inning. Vermillion trails now 1-0. Leading off this inning is Corbin Heckens. Takes the ball, 1-0. Vermillion will send up Corbin Heckens, Teddy Nesmith, and Grant Rohrig. Second pitch in the dirt, 2-0. Ball 3-0. So Vermillion still looking for their first hit. They've had 2 base runners tonight. 3 base runners, sorry. That's in for a called strike 1, 3-1. That is high for ball 4. So Corbin Heckens is aboard. That's his second time aboard. First was hit by a pitch, this time with a walk. Brings up Teddy Nesmith. He grounded out to second for a 4-6 put out of Heckens at first. And here's going to be a team meeting. So another timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion with Lennox leading 1-0. We are in the bottom half of the fifth inning. We'll be right back. Tanager Baseball brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Get the finest wood in the neighborhood. Down at the lumberyard. Down at the lumberyard.
But it's not just wood at the lumberyard. With a wide variety of quality building materials, the folks at the lumberyard can help you with all of your project needs. Whether it be paint, siding, cabinets, windows, or of course lumber, the Lumberyard is ready to help. The best wood in the neighborhood at the Lumberyard, 1000 West Cherry Street in Vermillion.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. Teddy Nesmith is up, the left-hander, facing the left-handed pitching Cole Spieler. That meeting at the mound, that timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance. There's a bunt back to second, or back to the pitcher, over to second for 1, and they get him at first for a double play. Wow, I really thought Nesmith was safe on that one, but they're going to call that a 1-6-3 double play. And so now 2 down here in the inning. Brings up left fielder Grant Rohrig. On deck, right fielder Matt Robe. So now bases are empty, 2 down. That pitch is in for a strike with good curve, 0-1. That's outside, 1-1. So 1-1 pitch from Spieler, the left-handed. Comes up. Ooh, called a strike. 1-2. Looked a little out of the zone, but hard to tell from this angle. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Here's Spieler's pitch. That is in for called strike 3. So technically 3 up, 3 down in the inning. That is Spieler's 8th strikeout. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 5, it's Lennox 1, Vermillion nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. We'll be back with Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank after these messages from Vermillion Sportscasters.
Midwest Ready Mix and Clark's Rentals are your locally owned and operated ready mix and rental companies available in both Yankton and Vermillion. The Oshkosh front discharge mixers allow for easy placement of concrete, and they're nearly unstoppable. More of a do-it-yourself fan? You can also get all your hand tools, mini excavators, skid steers, aerial lift equipment, and more for any job you need to get done. Choose Midwest Ready Mix and Clark's Rentals as your concrete and rental equipment headquarters of Yankton and Vermillion.
This is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. Hayden Christofferson now pitching, and at short is now Ryan Vitt. So Vitt gave up 5 hits in 5 innings, 1 run. So Hayden Christofferson now facing Emery Leffers, Cullen Wright, and Jackson Onaker. First 2 pitches to Leffers are balls, 2-0. That one's in for a strike, 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2, evens the count, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming from Hayden. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the 6th inning. So that brings up Cullen Wright. He grounded out to second and flew out to first. That first pitch is in for a strike from Christofferson, 0-1. Breakfast with the Coaches will be tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM. We'll talk to both Yankton and Vermillion head coaches. And that pitch is low, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. Wind up from Christofferson, inside, 2-1. Good sweeper there. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Christofferson on Cullen Wright. Works quickly. That is in the dirt. 3-2, full count. Here's the payoff pitch. That is called strike 3 for Christofferson's second strikeout of the game and second strikeout of the inning. Brings up number 25, second baseman Jackson Onaker. He is 2 for 3 tonight with 2 singles and a run scored, the only run scored. Pitch is lifted high, foul, and out of play, 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2. And just a reminder, there's also yoga at the Dakota Center on Friday at Monday at 5:45 in Vermillion. We did talk with the yoga center or the yoga college instructor, Connie Reynolds, today on At the Mic. So you may give that a try. 0-2. Ball's in the dirt, 1-2. I think I'm going to give it a try. Who knows? Can't hurt, right? As I break a leg? No. We'll see. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on here in the top half of the 6th inning. Vermillion trailing 1-0 on the Mesaba scoreboard. That ball's chopped, foul. Count remains 1-2. Again, South Central League Baseball begins this Sunday on 5-star streaming on YouTube. We will have the Freeman Black Sox Irene Cardinals doubleheader. And then next week we will be having state softball. We'll be bringing you Vermillion, Elk Point Jefferson, Alcester Hudson, Avon, Bonholm, and Gayville Vollen. That pitch is outside. Evens the count at 2-2. I'll be covering both A teams and EPJ and Vermillion. Vermillion will be solely here on Vermillion Tanagers. Everybody else will be on 5-star streaming. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Hayden. Lifted high, foul and out of play. Count remains 2-2. And then on 5-star streaming, you'll have EPJ, and then Zach will be covering most of Class B, and then I'll be helping out so we can get them all covered. So we'll be busy. We'll be in Aberdeen. So here's the 2-2 pitch. That's laced to short, and Ryan Vitt makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 5.5, it is Lennox 1, Vermillion nothing on the Mesaba scoreboard. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank from Prentice Park. I'm Michael Schumacher.
If you want somebody to come into your home and fix everything right the first time, look professional, act professional, treat you with respect, you gotta call Kaylin's. When they come in, I feel that they want to be there. I feel that they want to help me.
You know, they put on the little booties over their shoes. They had canvas from the garage door all the way down to walk on. They left the furnace room in the basement probably cleaner than it was when they came in.
They just do customer service very well. I would recommend Kaylin's to anyone.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. So we head into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Vermillion trails Lennox 1-0 on the Mesaba scoreboard. Batting this inning for Vermillion, Matt Robe, Michael Robe, and Hayden Christofferson. Matt Robe struck out back in the 3rd inning. Robe, the left-hander, faces Spieler, the left-hander. Here's the pitch. Lifted into shallow left center field. That will drop in. That's Vermillion's first hit. And Robe will round first, and he will stay there. But Vermillion, with their first hit, gets Matty Robe on with a single. Brings up brother Michael Robe, the center fielder. Michael Robe has struck out and walked, so 0 for 1 today. And the ball gets past the first baseman, and that will put Matty Robe, and he's going to round second. He's heading to third, and he will be safely in on the throwing error. Matty Robe makes it into scoring position. So Vermillion with a hit, and then a pickoff throw that got past the first baseman, and got past far enough that Robe was able to make it all the way to third. So now Mikey Robe just needs a hit to the outfield. And here's the first pitch from Spieler. That is outside, 1-0. So Michael Robe steps back in. Infield's up just a little bit, trying to prevent the run. That pitch is outside as well, 2-0. So all of a sudden, Spieler maybe seems to have lost a little bit of of his accuracy. Had been rolling along really, really well. Was pitching a no-hitter through 5. That pitch inside, 3-0. On deck is now pitcher Hayden Christofferson. So the left-handed Spieler working from the stretch. Steps in, and that is inside, and that will send Mikey Robe down to first. So now Mikey Robe on first, Matty Robe on third. And we'll see if Mikey Robe tries to advance to second. You'll often see that because they don't want to make a throw down to second. Okay. So Hayden Christofferson steps up, Connor Peterson on deck. As Spieler looks in, working from the stretch, hasn't had to do it too much today. So Christofferson steps in, Spieler looks over to first, comes home, and that is fouled off, 0-1. So here in the 6th inning, Vermillion gets their first hit, looking for their first run. Runners at first and third, their biggest threat of the day. It's their first runner to make it to second. So Christofferson steps into the box. And that ball gets past the catcher. There's going to be a play at home, and no! Matty Robe will score on the wild pitch. And Mikey Robe down to second. Count is now 1-1 on Christofferson. So score is now 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out with a runner on second. So here's Hayden Christofferson. Would love to help himself out. He's now the pitcher of record. That's in for strike 2, 1-2. Again, on deck is Connor Peterson. So here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So now with one down, brings up Connor Peterson. Peterson has struck out twice today. Here's the first pitch from Spieler to Peterson. Chopped down the third baseline, but foul, 0-1. So we're going to miss strike two. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Peterson. Spieler looking back at Robe. That's lifted high and foul. Out of play, 0-2. So Vermillion with a runner in scoring position, one down here in the bottom half of the sixth. They tied the game up in this inning, 1-1. Love to get that lead here. So Spieler, the left-hander, looks in, looks back, looks in, looks back, looks in, winds, delivers. That is out of the zone, 1-2. Oh, no, they called that a strike. They called that a strike. All right. So that is the second out of the inning. So that brings up Jack Moskowitz, who lifts that foul, 0-1. So now two down with a runner on second. Runner with good speed, so a hit to the outfield should score Mikey Robe. So Moskowitz, the strikeout and a ground out to short. That's lifted into shallow left field, and that will be caught for the third out of the inning. But in the inning, you have one run on one hit, one error, one runner left on base. At the end of six, it's tied up at 1. Vermillion 1, Lennox 1 on the Masaba scoreboard. We'll be back with more after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters. This is Tanager Baseball, or Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Candice Couture is your complete women's lingerie shop. Bras, underwear, PJs, loungewear, swimwear, sports bras, activewear, and much, much more. Small to 3 extra large and over 200 different sizes of bras. AA to O cup bands 28 to 56 in store. Candice Couture, 17 West Main Street.
Slumberland Furniture in Yankton, the place to shop for your next new mattress. Find brands like Stearns & Foster, Nectar, and the hottest selling mattress, Purple, measured for your comfort and a dream-laden night's sleep. There's the new Adapt by Tempur-Pedic as well. Slumberland Furniture has Flex Steel furniture too, comfy and classy. That's Slumberland Furniture, 2401 Broadway, Yankton.
Welcome back to Vermillion Tanager Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. As we head into the seventh inning, tied at 1 on the Masaba scoreboard. Vermillion sends Hayden Christopherson to the mound. His first pitch to Dane Moeller is a ball, 1-0. Moeller has reached on a fielder's choice, has been hit by a pitch and struck out so far tonight. Two balls, no strikes. Low and outside, 3-0. So it'll be Moeller, Ike, and Spieler batting this inning for Lennox. That's in for a strike, 3-1. So the 3-1 pitch from Christofferson. Oh, so that is ball 4. Moeller is now aboard. Brings up Talon. Ike, the third baseman for Lennox. He has hit a liner to third, singled, and singled. First time getting stranded at second, and then in the 5th inning, getting stranded at third. That one's laced into left field, and that will put runners at first and second. That's the 6th hit of the game for Lennox. So now with runners at first and second, brings up pitcher Cole Spieler. He'd love to get himself a win here, so he'd like to drive one in. Left-handed batter steps up, first time against Christofferson. Christofferson looks back at second. That's laced into left field again, and they're going to hold him up. That'll load the bases. That is the 7th hit of the game for Lennox. So Spieler with his 2nd hit of the night. And that will bring up Mason Reichel, the catcher. He's been hit by a pitch twice and struck out, so technically 0 for 1. Yeah, he'd be taking hit by a pitch tonight, right now. It'd score a run. And that is out of the zone, 1-0. And actually, getting hit by a pitch lasting is what scored a run for, or in the 5th inning is what scored a run for Lennox. So here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike, 1-1. That's lifted into left field. That'll be caught, but they'll tag up. Here's the throw home. There's going to be a play at the plate. No, not in time. Runners at first and second don't advance, but on the sacrifice by Reichel, Lennox takes the lead 2-1. So that will bring up So that brings up Dane Winterbor to bat for Gabe Verink. First pitch is a strike. And that is out of the zone, 1-1. One pitch in for a strike, 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That's the 2nd out of the inning. So runners at first and second. And now 2 down. That's Hayden Christofferson's 3rd strikeout of the game. That brings up Jack Oshheim. That ball gets past Peterson. Runners advance. 1-0. So on the Masaba scoreboard, Vermillion trails 2-1. Here's 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. In the bottom half of the inning, Vermillion is scheduled to send up Ryan Vitt, Corbin Heckens, and Teddy Nesmith. So that's now 2-0 on Jack Oshheim. That's in for a strike, 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out, 2 on. That is low and outside, 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2, full count. So no, there's 2 down. There's 2 down. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That is the 3rd out of the inning. So come up in the bottom half of the 7th. Again, you will have Ryan Vitt, Corbin Heckens, and Teddy Nesmith in the top half of the 7th. Lennox had 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. 2-1 on the Masaba scoreboard. Vermillion trails Lennox. We'll be back with the bottom half of the 7th after this. This is Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank.
Todd's Electric, your full-service electrical contracting company. Todd's Electric services residential, commercial, agricultural, and industrial customers. From the simplest service call to the most complex design-build project, Todd's Electric has the expertise to do it right. Call Todd's Electric for all your electrical needs. Todd's Electric, helping you control all things electric. Except for lightning. Todd's Electric. Go Tanagers.
Wanting a specialist without leaving town? We've got you covered. Our clinic offers specialists for the health and wellness of your family. From pediatricians to OBGYNs, plus primary care. You can find it all at Vermillion Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Welcome back to Vermillion Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. As we head into the bottom half of the 7th, Vermillion trails 2-1 to Lennox. Cole Spieler still on the mound for Lennox Post 174. He'll be facing Ryan Vitt, Corbin Heckens, and Teddy Nesmith. Vitt, the starting pitcher, went 5 innings. He's now at short.
Shortstop, number 23, Ryan Vitt.
He is struck out in the 2nd and grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. Left-handed Spieler winds and delivers. That is high and inside. 1-0. Low, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. And if you're interested in music, tomorrow night I will be hosting a concert at the AME Allen Chapel in Yankton. 508 Cedar Street. J. Jeffrey Messerol will be in concert. Free will offering. Everything goes to the artist, so give generously, but only what is comfortable. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Spieler to Vitt. Fouled off. Full count. 3-2. So here's the full count. 3-2 pitch from Spieler. Inside, ball 4. Ryan Vitt is aboard. So the tying run is at first. Brings up Corbin Heckens, who's been hit by a pitch and walked. So no official plate appearances for Corbin, but an on-base percentage that is infinity. Well, 1,000. That is the third time somebody's been picked off for Vermillion tonight. So he's picked off. So now with nobody out, or nobody on, Corbin Heckens is up. But yeah, that is the third runner that's been taken out by that move by Spieler. So Spieler pitches to Heckens. That's in for a strike, 0-1. That's outside, 1-1. That's in for a strike, 1-2. On deck is Teddy Nesmith. Chopped between third and short, deep short, fielded there, over to first, and that gets past the first baseman. Heckens stumbles rounding first, so he'll go back. That is a break for Lennox, as Heckens probably would have been at second. But Heckens with a single, as that was hit deep to short. I don't know that they would have gotten him. Nope, they're giving him an error. All right. I'm not sure, but that's the second error. So that brings up second baseman Teddy Nesmith, who is grounded out to to second, and hit into a 1-6-3 double play. On deck is Grant Rohrig. That is inside. Nesmith ducks out of the way, 1-0. So Lennox leads 2-1 on the Mesaba scoreboard. Vermillion Baseball brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. Here's the 1-0 pitch. No, the throw over to first, and that does get past first baseman. Heckens heading down to second. Heckens thinking about third. Nope, he will stay there. So now a runner in scoring position with one down. One 1-0 pitch to Nesmith, in for a strike, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Spieler. That curves inside, and that is strike 3 for the second out of the inning. Vermillion down to their final at-bat. Grant Rohrig, number 10, the left fielder. He has struck out looking twice. I have a feeling he'll be up there swinging now.
Hey, let's make contact here this time. Let's go. Swing the bat, Grant. Come on, bud.
So first pitch is a ball, 1-0.
Okay, be smart here. Let's go.
Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tying run on second, 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Spieler looks in, delivers. That's in for called strike 2. That swept right across the plate. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner on second. Rohrig steps in, looks at Spieler. Spieler comes set, looks back, looks home. And that hits him. So Grant Rohrig will be at first. So first and second now. And that brings up Matty Robe. Robe singled his last time up, singled and scored. Struck out in the third.
Right fielder, number 11, Matt Rowe.
Do it again, kid. Get confidence up to 11. Come on, bud.
With Heckens on second, decent speed. Holds up on that ball. 1-0. And we're going to take a timeout. There's going to be a meeting at the mound. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out, 2 on here in the bottom half of the 7th. This timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion, serving the area for over 30 years.
If you're looking for the perfect fit, Vermillion Vision Care Associates fits like the right pair of glasses. Vision Care Associates has its roots in family eye care, and the doctors are well known for being primary eye care providers. With the ability to treat and diagnose a variety of settings, Vermillion Vision Care Associates is the right fit for you. Plus, they can fit you into a new pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contacts that feel just right. With continuing education, see the best doctors at Vermillion Vision Care Associates.
All right, that timeout brought to you by Murph's Appliance on Main Street in Vermillion. 2 out, 2 on, 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1 to Matty Robe. On deck would be Mikey Robe. Cole Spieler has gone the distance for Lennox. Looks in, shakes off the first sign, agrees to the second. That is inside. Did not quite sweep back across enough. 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. 2 out, 2 on. Spieler comes, works from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That's chopped over to second. It's going to be a close play at first, and it's not in time. Bases are loaded. Infield single for Matty Robe. So the bases are loaded for Mikey Robe. That was pretty much hit to the perfect spot. All right, so they're checking the pitch count. He is able to pitch to Michael. So if he is not able to get Mikey Robe, he will have to be replaced. So high drama here at Prentice Park tonight in opening night. 2-1. Lennox leads Vermillion. Mikey Robe with the bases loaded to Cole Spieler. First pitch is outside, 1-0. Nowhere to put him. On deck is Hayden Christofferson. Mikey has walked twice and struck out, 0 for 1. Ball 2, 2-0. Robe, a really good hitter. Spieler not wanting to give him anything to hit because he's not so worried about the first run. It's the second run that is the worrisome one. That's in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher, but not nearly far enough to do anything with. But it is now 3-0. Wow, he did call it a strike. So he called that a strike, 2-1. That one's grounded to short. Throw over to first. In time, and that will end it. On a 6-3 putout. New runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. 3 runners left on base, and Vermillion Post 1 drops their opener to Lennox Post 174 by a score of 2-1. All right, we'll be back on Sunday, I believe. Yes, Sunday will be the next action. We'll have that here on Vermillion Tanagers on YouTube. From Prentice Park, I'm Michael Schumacher. This is Tanager Baseball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank. You guys have a great night.